So this is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. And what we're trying to do over here in the Kollel, and people ask me, what's really going on here? And this is an online learning session. I'm leading the learning session because it's what I do. So basically the concept of Tikkun, which is said in other shiur many, many times, is the concept, although it's normally translated as fixing, and there's no question that it does that. But what it means is, in the language of the rabbis, is this ma'atu sa'or, limitation of the light of the Ein Sof. The light of the Ein Sof is infinite, but it's also nothing. It's ein, there's nothing there. So basically, you try to take something and to make it something which is nothing, put it into something, and that's the tikkun. Because the ability to be able to take that light and squeeze it into physicality, that's the concept of the tikkun. What's the elevator do? Well, the elevator goes up and down. We take our prayers and go up to the most high part, and then the elevator brings down blessings. So this is what we're engaged in. This is what's happening at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. Now come over here in the Zohar. This is the 5-minute Zohar in Parshas Pinchas. We're on page Shin Lamed Hey, and we're at the bottom paragraph. We'll do the best we can with it. Let's go. He's Vahu called a nofik. So then a voice comes out. Now we had said that there are 6 rings of the windpipe. When those rings come together, it produces sound. Vosa kol yotzem in a malachim, and the voice itself comes from malachim, which are the agents of sound. They're moving the sound. And then they strike rain clouds. Now we're talking about, I'm not sure exactly how the metaphor works, but you want to understand what's going on. And when rain clouds are struck by this voice, which is coming from from Zeranpin, from deep in the spiritual world, so then you hear the sound of the thunder for us. We hear it down below. So we have this pasuk, and it says like this: V'ram gevurasa. They thunder his gevuros thunder. He said, "B'shehem hakol shel sheish madregas hamalachim." This, what we're talking about in this pasuk and these words, is that it's talking about the sheish madregas, the 6 levels of malachim that you find on these rings of the vocal cords. Hakashurim yachad, and that happens when they're tied. They come together instead of being separate. They compact. That once again, that's a tikkun. Sha'az chebebechinas gevuros, because when the concept of contraction is a concept of gevura. Mi is bainin, mi yachol hasigo, but can you actually find the origin of where this thundering gevura comes from? We talk about the voice now. The bavadai mesita the gevura ka'asyan, because it certainly comes from the shefa that is coming from up above into Zer Anpen, and it's coming in to the side of gevura, which is this line of the left, which is bina, gevura, and hod. Ki vadai heim boim mitzad gevura, because they certainly come from the side of gevura. L'chein kosev bechem ra'am gevurasa. So that's why the reason why it says that its gevuros are thundering. Beginda, because of power. Beginda l'chein kosev kel hakavod hirim Hashem al mayim rabim. So he caused the thunder to come, that is, Hashem caused the thunder to go into these mighty waters. So he explains, what does this mean? So he says, Kael roin ba'atzmo lo chsiv. Now it doesn't say, the phrase that we have is Kael hakavod hirim. That's what it says. Kael, the God of glory, he's the one that thunders. So then he said, but Kael roin, the God that thunders, that's not what it says. Lo chsiv. Elakael hakavod, but it says the God of glory, Hirim. He's the one that thunders. Al yadah the b'nei elim. And how does he do this? Where does the thunder come out? It comes out from these malachim. Pirish al malchus hanikras kael hakavod. Now, if you learn enough Zohar, you see that our Kabbalah in general, that the rabbis are continuously, that Rebbe Shimon is convincingly coining phrases. So here we have malchus also called kael hakavod. So he said, he ro'amash, that therefore she starts the sun thunder. Ayedei b'nei elim, using the vehicles of the 6 malachim attached to her. Shehem sheish madregas malachim, and his keres, we said that her lower 6 spheros carry the sound. V'lis man de yada v'shvacha de haikolo. So there's nobody really knows the real value of this voice. I think what he means to say not the shvach, but the praise. In other words, to say, to be able to pinpoint where it's coming from and say thanks. They don't know how to praise the root of it. This is the meaning of this phrase. Who can understand it? Who can find it? Pirish mi min hatachtonim, who that is in the lower worlds, sheyachol lahasigo, to be able to reach the place where this is thunder is coming from. This is Baruch Fleischman.